Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. We've got my co-hosts, Janki and Brett.
Hello.
And then
always here to help you. Always here to do this.
I know you guys are very familiar with them. And today we've got Andy Cole with us. Andy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, just for those that don't know you, what areas you cover and how your business is structured? Where do you get your leads and transactions from?
Yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate you having me here. Like I was saying, I was not expecting to be on the show at all. So I appreciate you having me here. I got started in real estate about 8 years ago. Took a job as an ISA. Needed a job at the time. I was dialing for dollars, as they say. So $120 a day was literally the job description. I was put into the corner of a conference room and basically, start dialing, figure it out. Didn't really quite frankly have a whole lot of training. I think that it was definitely a trial by fire environment. You know how you're saying it was a trial, like this is sort of a trial by fire environment, like that, that at the time that was definitely a trial by fire environment. So did that for about 3 years, got, picked up a few things here and there, then worked as a listing agent for a year, did 95 sides. I didn't realize, honestly, at the time, I didn't realize what this was at the time. Like I was sort of, clueless and young. I'm sort of dating myself, these days. I'm 33 now. But at the time, so I did 95 sides in a year, 16.5 million. Yeah, so $16.5 million worth of volume. And I honestly, I burned myself out. I was totally, I was over it. After a year of doing it, I called it quits because it was not what I was trying to do. Got into what I'm doing right now, which is training ISAs, putting together lead generation services for clients of ours, and then that's pretty much it. So
wow. Tristan, training ISA is like, wow, this is really cool. I love it.
This is your jam, dude. This is your jam, Janki. I think this speaks to all of us, man. This is why we wanted you on. I think with everybody here using Chime, we typically also gravitate to online leads, right, as they come through. So obviously we either need to have somebody like real estate agents calling them, have some automation in place, or have VAs or in-house staff that are ISAs as well, or a combination of all three. And so I think that's why we want to go deeper on this, because that conversation always pops up. So I have one question, and then we can go from there with a whole bunch of other questions. But I'd like to understand how you're using Chime with the structure of what you have as a team right now. How does that incorporate with it?
Yeah, so to be clear, I'm not in production anymore. So we do
like Adam Frank. I love it.
Adam Frank, yeah. So I have seen, Adam and Barry. I feel like fairly similar tracks. Like I haven't spent enough time with either one of them to know, sort of exactly what they do. But it's a similar track. But we do this for Chime clients specifically. So we have. So I just saw that Adam messaged me. I don't know if that's group Zoom chat or if that's just me.
Yeah, that's everybody. Oh, Adam's always watching.
Okay. What's going on, Adam? So we do this for Chime clients. So we don't use Chime personally, but we do it for Chime clients, basically.
I love that.
I love it.
And what is? Go ahead, Janki.
I love that, Tristan and Andy. This is really good because, again, a lot of people don't understand that our jobs as realtors and top producers is to work on our business. And I say it so many times, our job is to really focus working on our business, which is, going on, showing a listing appointments, writing the contracts, negotiating and closing, then on to the next, and a lot of realtors get buried in the business, which is all admin duties, right? And someone like an ISA taking over, doing what you're doing, Andy, and what I do as well, just taking over the training portion of how to train that ISA, what to build out in that ISA, is so important because it comes from mindset affirmations, and then we take it off to confidence and all of that, right? That's the first thing we need to work on with ISAs. At least I know that's how I train, but yeah.
100%. So I think that like the thing that I have generally found, like, nobody teaches you this stuff. Like, you go to like real estate school, like they teach you all the stuff that doesn't matter, but they don't teach you like all the stuff that actually does matter, like the marketing and sales side of things. So like that is what, quite frankly, I enjoy. Like this is the part of the business that I really enjoy. Being out as a listing agent, like, like I was saying, I burned myself out and realized that, you got to know what works best for you. And for me, it was not being out in the field. It was building the systems, quite frankly, being on the phone. I love being on the phone. I know that's different for, a lot of people, but yeah. So yeah, happy to walk you guys through it. I've got quite a bit that I put together. I don't know how much time we've got. Like, can you guys give me a little bit of a sense for like how long
Yeah,
these things?
we've got about 20 or so minutes. So dude,
Okay.
go. If
Go
you've
for it.
got something already, Brett won't take you to the 10th degree on questions.
Okay.
Because his questions are insanely awesome. And let's just go, dude. Tell us what you got.
Yeah. So do you want me to share my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
This would be even better.
Okay.
So basically, Andy, your company does the training part of it, right?
Correct. So we essentially do ISA placements. So we essentially do the recruiting, which that's an entire another conversation. Hiring is very difficult.
Mhm.
So, but once we've got the right person in place, we're essentially doing the training as well. Correct. So.
Completely.
So Aubrey had asked for me to talk about this, so I'm just basically rolling with this. I felt like this would be a good good place to essentially start. So we're talking about 7 simple steps to essentially train your ISA. To be clear, this is a fraction of what goes into this. Like, there is so much that goes into this. It is, I mean, you could talk about this for an entire week and you'd still not cover everything that goes into this, but at a very high level, what I wanted to talk about today was, basically enough to get your foot in the door, so that if you wanted to, if you have an ISA that you're looking to train yourself and you're looking to give them some guidance on exactly how to go about actually getting results in both a timely manner and an efficient manner, so that you're not driving yourself crazy and you're not wasting your time. This is essentially how we go about doing it. And to be clear, there are people doing this at a way higher level than we're doing this right now. We're a small fish in a very big pond. So I'm not saying we have all the answers, but this is essentially how we do it. So, the other thing that I'd like to touch on real quick. So I think one of the biggest things that I see is, we go into a database and, man, the database is everywhere. Like, there's a million different pipelines. There's a million different tags for everything. I think, at the end of the day, if you're going to put a system in place, like keep it simple. Like, it's got to be simple. If it's too complex, either your agents are not going to understand how to use it, your ISA is not going to understand how to use it, your team is going to be too lazy. They're not going to use it.
True.
And it's just like, you're not going to get the results you're looking for. So, when it comes down to, fundamental principles, keeping this stuff as simple as possible generally has a very linear correlation with regards to the amount of money that you're going to end up pulling in the form of closed deals. And by the way, if you guys have any questions, feel free to chime in. No pun intended. I did not mean for that pun, but feel free to chime in at any time.
That's like the oldest pun in the book.
Is that really? Does everybody say that?
Yeah.
Dude, it happens by accident. So it's funny and it's messed up at the same time.
I have to tell you, Andy, I am just like Tristan said, this is up my alley because, of course, we have a training academy launching soon as well. And I love the fact that you have this pipeline stages, because we have something very similar and it's so clear cut to the point, right? It gives the definition of what happens next. I love it. This is so awesome.
Thanks for zooming in on that, dude. I was going to ask, because I think the questions that are going to come from this are, well, how is it that you go through this with your ISAs or with the ISAs that you're training? where do you start? Do you show this first and then say, hey, this is how it goes? And do you jump on the phone with them and say, this is the dialogue that you use, this is how you determine this or that? Take us through that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a very high level view. I mean, for an ISA to understand, how to do this job in an effective manner, they need to first understand. I mean, this is the roadmap. Like, this is how we get from A to Z. I mean, if we're trying to get from lead in the door, so lead generated to lead converted, this is the roadmap on essentially how we get there. So, and like I said, everybody does this slightly differently, but if we're getting a new lead in the door, I'll just walk you through sort of how what this looks like. So once an ISA is getting a new lead in the door from whatever lead source, they're acknowledging a receipt of that lead. So they're moving it to the qualified category. This is where they are attempting to contact that lead. So call, text, email. We're looking for 30 contacts in 30 days. Now, you can do this in the form of smart plans. You can do this in the form of phone calls. So I mean, we are very, very heavy on the phone because, to be honest, like, Chime is not the only CRM we work with. We work with other CRMs. So not all of these CRMs have the ability to do some of the things that Chime does. So we, at the end of the day, the way that we essentially look at this is phone calls are not going away. Like, if you're great on the phone and you know how to get a hold of somebody on the phone, I mean, you're not going to ever run out of business because, at the end of the day, I mean, if you can generate business on the phone, you're not going to have any problems. You're going to ask the question?
And Andy, here's what I want to say is, we're in a people business. No matter what you do, at the end of the day, we are in the people business. We have to build that relationship. And I always say to my team as well, it starts with the frontliners, and those are our ISAs. That's what I always,
100%. I mean, so to your point, if your ISA is doing an amazing job, and this is how you know your ISA is doing an amazing job, when the client or the lead starts thinking that the ISA is actually the agent, that's when you know your ISA is doing a really amazing job. Like you making sure that the lead knows that you're actually not the agent is important, but that's how you actually know the quality of the conversation was there. Like, you're getting rapport in place. You're focusing specifically on solving the problems that client has. So let's say, older couple and they need to be, near like a medical facility or something. It's actually like, okay, understanding like that's the problem they need to solve. So sending them listings that are, go look at, find out the exact address of, where is the medical facility these people need to be located by, pick out that address and actually start sending them listings from around that area. So yeah, 100% agree. Like, it's a people business and you got to be really focused on helping people solve their problems. Anyways, so moving down the pipeline here. So I don't think this is necessarily special. I feel like this is actually pretty common. So I mean, we categorize these in terms of hot, warm, cold. Hot leads we're contacting every 1 to 3 days. We do not use any automation for hot leads. I'm completely against using automation for hot leads unless it's in the form of market activity reports or EALers, so by property searches, something like that. Once you get to the hot category, the quality of the conversation has got to be 110%. It's got to be personalized. It has to be it's got to be like friends and family, basically. Anything, warm, cold, archive, trash, you start layering in additional forms of automation there. But, in terms of, when we're actually contacting these leads, so warm leads, timeline for them, 3 to 6 months. And I should have mentioned the timelines. Hot leads, 3 months or less. Warm leads, 3 to 6 months. Cold leads, 6 to 12 months. Warm leads we're contacting every 1 to 3 weeks. Cold leads every 1 to 3 months. So, it's not necessarily a new idea, but it's just, making sure that the ISA has a very solid understanding of like, here's what we need to get in place. Once you get the pipeline in place, man, this business becomes predictable. Like it becomes scary predictable, really scary predictable once you actually get the stuff in place and everybody's playing by the same roadmap. So do y'all have any questions about this at all?
No, I'm pretty good. Junkie had one question. Junkie, what you had a question about, like, what happens in regards to
So what
training,
happened? Yeah,
right?
so, right, so when you train them, right, how, let me ask, let's put it this way. How long does it take for your ISAs? And are they the ISAs that you hire? Or is it the client that hires them? How does that look?
Good question.
So this is something that we do both of, to be honest, and it really depends on the client. Some clients are looking for a straight up like a team member, like they want to bring them on their team, and then other clients are looking, they just want to more of like a subscription service. So it really depends on the client. I don't know if that answers your question, Janki.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So the and then in terms of like the actual amount of time that it takes to essentially train an ISA, you're looking at about 6 months from day one, like knows nothing about real estate, to 6 months in, like you should have a rock star ISA, around 6 months in. And I'm not saying they're gonna know everything, but they should be able to provide a whole lot of opportunities for your team that otherwise would not have been provided if you did not have somebody sitting there in their seat, making the phone calls, and essentially nurturing the leads. I mean, there's an art and a science to this. It's not just making the phone calls. I mean, you gotta be an extreme problem solver with these people. Like figure out, what's the, number one thing that we talk about all the time during these training sessions is what's the reason for the move? Like why are these people looking to either buy or sell? And from that question,
right.
all other information flows from that question. Like if you figure out, okay, so they're, taking a new job. Okay, great. When's the new job start? 3 months. Okay. So you're looking here pretty soon. So, where's the new job located at? Okay. So you want to be pretty close to the new job. Where are the kids going to school? Like when you start getting like
Dig a little deeper,
Yeah.
and come out of curiosity. Yeah.
Andy, I have a question from someone. Allison wants to know, is this pipeline a seller pipeline, or is this for all of the way you have it built out? Is this all pipelines?
This is basic. This is both sides. Yeah, buy side and sell side. Yeah, good question.
So here's the thing. I really, I streamline, I actually dig a little deeper into not contacted and attempting contact. And Brett, I think it's very important to dig a little more deeper into certain pipelines, because I think, overall, we don't realize when we don't come from curiosity, and my ISAs always starts, saying, and I'm going in script mode, which I should stop, but we always say, out of curiosity, may I ask, or out of curiosity, and I think that really helps. And I know, Andy, you guys probably have that as well, but I think it's so important to come out of that stage, right? Because they then won't have their guards up and won't say, won't divert the question, right? So Andy, my question to you is, do you guys have something like that in your scripts? Your ISAs?
100%. So like literally like what you just used right there. I mean, I felt like I was almost saying it, like, because that is literally exactly how we go about it. So may I ask?
Oh,
It is like say, like if you attach that to any form of question, may I ask if you have been pre-approved by a lender, or may I ask if you have a good lender that you're working with, versus do you are you pre-approved, or do you have a lender that you're working with? May I add, like just attaching that to a question. It's like how you ask these questions. It makes all the difference. So, and then not only with regards to just asking those questions. So may I ask for, versus just, a simple question without that. But if we're talking about, just questions in general versus statements. So I can't even tell you how many times that I see this. And this is not like, I'm not trying to place blame here. I'm just trying to, anybody that's watching this, go take a look at your conversations, and this will instantly make you more. If you fix this, this will instantly make you more money. Stop putting statements in your text messages, your emails, your phone conversations. Replace them with questions. Like they have to be questions. Like if you're sending out a text that just says, hey, I'd like to look at your property today. what is the person that is receiving that text supposed to say that? They're just going to look at that and say, okay, I don't know how to respond. And then they're going to go off, and do something else. If you ask them an actual question, so can I actually come out? Would it be okay if I actually come out and take a look at your property today? ? Simply by rephrasing that as a question, your response rates will go up 2 to 3x. And I know this because I've just seen this over and over and over again. I mean, there's we'll have an appointment get sent out, to an agent, and the agent's saying like, hey, I can't get a hold of this person. Like, why can't I get a hold of this person? We go back and we look at the conversation history. It's because you're sending statements, you're not sending questions, you're sending 3 questions in one text. So if you're sending like a paragraph of text, cut it out. Stop that. Stop sending paragraphs in your text messages. Nobody wants
Right. Exactly. I totally agree with you, because we're always asking one-worded question, always.
Mhm.
And sometimes we send out, when we don't get them on the phone, we actually send them out a question on the text message saying, Brett, ? And
Yes.
100% on Tristan, ? 100% of the time we get responses. And I just.
Who is this?
Yeah, exactly. And guess what our ISA does? Doesn't reply back, picks up the phone and dials. So,
Yep.
In our training session, I just wanted to say this, and this is awesome, but in our training session, our ISAs, we had about 12 ISAs, and they converted 137 phone appointments
Yeah.
for their realtors. So just in about 2 months, and just to see that there are people out there, these leads are amazing. Don't question the leads. My advice is don't question the leads, but see how you can turn around and service those leads, because there's so many different ways of doing this. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's Jonty, it's really funny because I have 2 people on this call that are big ISA users, and then you have me on the call who I am the opposite.
Yes,
But
I know that.
a lot of what you guys are talking about is the same kind of stuff that I believe in, which is it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter who's doing the calling or who's doing the texting. It's what is being said. It's how it's being said, and the fact that I like seeing what I'm seeing here as far as this is concerned, how it's being said, what's being said, the scripting behind it. And I think whether people use an ISA or not, it doesn't matter as long as the scripting is, as long as they're taking away from this, there is scripting that should be used here. And there are ways to be saying things. Don't send paragraphs of things, that kind of stuff. I do have some questions for you, Andy. I do, because they're being popped up in here. And so I'm going to ask them for you, so you don't have to like read through like I'm reading through the chat right now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, shoot.
Alex wants to know, are your ISAs licensed?
Great question. So the answer is no, and there's a lot of gray area on this. At the end of the day, the client is making a decision on whether they're willing to take the plunge on this, and that's my answer on that.
And I was going to say, because you had mentioned earlier, you take people that clients hire and that you guys can bring in as well. So if the client wants to have someone licensed, you can also take care of that for them.
That is 100%.
Like as training them.
That is 100% correct. So if there is somebody, and we have done this, if you have somebody that is on your team that is looking for ISA training, like, yeah, we do that. But the majority of people are coming to us because they don't have anybody. They're looking for somebody that, they're looking for a turnkey solution, basically.
Sure.
And to be clear, ISA turnkey solution, let me just clarify this right now. It does not exist. Like, this is not Amazon Prime. This takes time. Like, it's 6-month minimum time commitment, and it's going to be messy. And you're going to look at this like the first few months and think like, what the hell is going on here? So yeah, so it's, yeah, does that, hopefully that answers your question on the license.
Absolutely.
License. Okay.
Okay. So the next question is, how many hours a week are they dialing usually?
This is full-time, 40 hours a week.
Got it. Okay. Triple line dialers, single line dialers, what triple line dialers are they using?
So we use Redx. We're big. To be honest, I've used every single dialer that's out there, and I personally think that it's not. So this is my opinion, but I'll share why I think Redx is the best dialer, and it comes down to one very simple reason. With Mojo and Vulcan 7, you have to dial into that dialer with an outside phone line, like a Ring Central. If you have Redx, it has a built-in dialer, so when you're making your calls, you don't have to stop your dial session to get your return calls coming in, if that makes sense. Because like people are going to be calling you back when you're making those calls. So if you're calling in on Mojo or Vulcan, and you've simultaneously got people calling you, you have to stop your dial session. It's just it just doesn't work for me. So, but Redx is a single line dial. I think Redx actually has a triple line. I'm not a fan of the triple line because I think it's just chaos. Like I think the quality of the conversations just goes down dramatically. So
yeah, okay. Do most of your ISAs earn a bonus or a commission when a client goes on contract? How do you do? Basically, I think they're asking what the pay structure is for an ISA.
Yeah, so we leave that up to the client, to be clear. So
okay. I'm trying to see if anybody, John Key, do you have any questions? You're usually full of questions, so I'm sitting back here just like.
I know. So is Tristan.
There's a last question that I was answering one on Facebook. Allison, did we ask that question, Brett, about the ISA's bonus or no?
Yes.
Yeah, I just asked that one.
Perfect.
I know. I'm also fielding questions over here too. Tristan and I are both trying to field questions, so sorry about that.
All right, no, we got 2 other questions for you, and anyone can take this, either Andy or Jonky. By Henry. What's up, Henry? I'm sorry, is this meeting about V or just ISA? It's just, I mean, in this case, ISAs.
ISAs,
Yeah.
I would think, because I know that in our training program, we totally just focus on ISAs. And I know earlier I said, somebody asked me out of how many leads were the 137 appointments made in 2.5 months. I don't know how many leads those realtors have really. We had 12 realtors in one session. And I don't know how many leads they had, but out of that, obviously our jobs, right, Andy, to look at this as a high level is to really see what's really working. And I am in the business still. I still sell real estate.
Right.
So I know these scripts, because sometimes my ISAs will text me and say, boss, I don't know the question to this. I don't know how to answer this. And I send out a script right away. And that becomes part of our course, because that script work, right? So I say it every day. I work I'm in the field every day. So it's really asking the right questions that'll really trigger. And we just actually, from phone appointments, we just converted 7 yesterday, or day before yesterday, Tristan, 7.
Wow.
Dang.
And we have about 27 in the lender pipeline right now. So that's my team only.
I actually have a question then for Jonky and Andy. Dude, I like this. It's like 2 ISA pros.
I love this.
And then a guy I am so far out of my league in this, it's not even funny right now. This is like playing Major League Baseball when all I've played is T-ball. So this is interesting to me. My buddy Alan out in SoCal, we love Alan. He wants to know any tips on how you guys structure your meetings with your ISAs when covering KPIs.
Ooh, what a great question, dude.
I do it every 3 weeks. I don't do it. It's my daughter that does it. And actually, she just did it. She just did it yesterday, Tristan and Brett. And she came to me and she says, I have so much to tell you, Mom. Because
nice.
It's so interesting to see. We have about 4 ISAs on our team, my team. And then, of course, my training course, which is, we have those 12 ISAs, and our next training program starts in January. But we do it every 3 weeks on my personal team, for sure.
Nice. How about you, man?
Cool. So I'm actually going to share something else here real quick. So we meet every day for about an hour on Zoom, and this is essentially how we go about it. So I'm going to show you a couple things here. Let me see. So a huge part of this is just accountability and making sure that the work is actually being done. To be honest, like I don't have the time. Whoops, that's not what I'm looking for. I don't have the time to essentially manage my team or micromanage my team. So, at the end of the day, what we do is we have them fill out a type form. I don't know if you guys are familiar with type form at all, but it's essentially like Google Sheets. They or not Google Sheets, Google Forms that populates into Google Sheets. So, these are the things that we're essentially looking at. Like, did you complete all of your ISA tasks for the day? So they have a checklist of things that they're required to do on a daily basis that essentially keeps them on track. Like, that's essentially how the sauce is made and how we get to how we get the pipeline built. You're kicking off your day, read your mindset tab. I know that sounds corny, but you got to get in the right mindset when you're calling, when you're picking up the phone and calling these people. Check your email, logging into your phone system, check and see if you've missed any calls, return all the phone calls, voicemails, things like that. Looking at your notifications, essentially going into smart views. So we have smart views set up that essentially correlate to this right here, and they're essentially dialing through those smart views. So that's what I'm referring to, this column right here. Did you complete your ISA task for the day? We keep track of the actual pipeline here. So how many hot, warm, cold leads, total appointments for the day, total appointments for the month. How many contacts did they make? So they're required to put a screenshot of how many contacts they made. I'm not going to open that up because it's got client information in there. But we take a look at phone call history. We have them post a recording of a phone call that they did. So we listen to we listen to phone calls. We listen to phone calls every day. We just listened to a phone call today from one of our newer ISAs we brought on. We look at conversation history. So, going in, just, seeing what the conversation history is like. So they post a screenshot of, a good conversation that they had specifically. And, yeah, that's pretty much how we go about it. And we take a look at this stuff Monday through Friday, 1 hour a day. So, I mean, really the point, there's a huge amount of accountability involved. There's no hiding. Like if somebody's not making things happen, it's going to show up in the numbers. So, if we're talking about remote, sorry, go ahead, Brett.
Oh, I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So
we have a few questions here, Andy. And Brett, I'm taking this away from you for now.
Yeah.
Only the second. This one I really want to answer. Where would I find info to sign an ISA up for a training course and or to help find a hiring an ISA? See,
I was just going to ask that.
Where do you find them, Andy? I will give you my info, but for sure, go for it.
So probably for the time being, so I'm not gonna lie. So I was a little bit hesitant to even do this webinar because, to be honest, like we are like I'm not just saying this like pretend like we're slammed, like we're slammed right now. Like we have a lot of people reaching out to us about services. The best thing to do would be to reach out to me on Facebook. I can have a quick chat with you on Facebook. To be honest, like I don't even think that we can handle any more business right now. Like and still keep the level of quality that we need to keep to basically make sure I'm not getting a bunch of pissed off clients, quite frankly. So if you want to chat with me about it, happy to do so. I'm on Facebook. We're a small but very efficient team. I think a huge part of this is just making sure you've got 18 players in place to facilitate more business. The issue is with ISAs, this is a very Janky, you know this. This is a very highly time intensive business, and it's not super scalable, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to chat with me about it, find me on Facebook. Happy to have a conversation with you. We have a training course that we put all of our ISAs through. That is not. I mean, I think really what you're asking is like, do you have a training course that we can purchase? We have it there, but it's not in a in a palatable format that somebody can just buy and then just run through the whole course. Like that is on the agenda for 2022, but we're not there yet. It's about 48 modules. Go ahead.
I was gonna say you're coming out of the junkie. I know you have this
Yes.
because I've taken it. So I was gonna end because unfortunately I have to bail. I don't know about Tristan, but I actually have to bail. But I want to ask 2 questions real fast.
Go.
I'm gonna do these rapid fire. Okay. So I was gonna ask Andy how we get in touch with you, but you said Facebook message is the best way to get in touch with you.
Facebook Messenger. Yep.
Junkie, how do we get in touch with you?
Same thing, learnwithjunkie.com or text Tristan, bug the heck out of Tristan and Brett. No, I'm kidding. Hey, we will never say no to business. We have got all the modules ready to go. Second quarter is launch. First quarter is launching in January 2022. So we're ready.
And if you need to get in touch with either one of them, you can text Tristan or myself, and we can get you in touch with either one of them.
I'm on Facebook Messenger all day long, so I'm here.
We're all on Facebook.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Andy, thanks for doing this, buddy. We're out of time. We appreciate you. You've built something awesome. So thank you for doing it.
That is, your interface is cool.
Appreciate
I like this a lot.
Interface is Airtable, so anybody can use it. Just FYI. But yeah, I appreciate you guys having me. Really do.
Thanks,
Take care.
Andy. Junkie, Brett, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Everybody.
bye.